All across the middle of our country, you'll find towns like Fowler, each unique with their own stories, their own legends. Some people call this flyover country, but this is the land that fed a nation. Its people built industry, dreamed dreams, and made a life in a land that is alive. Its people continue this legacy today, honoring the past and finding their way into the future. There are spirits here, unique and beautiful, and sometimes strange and terrifying. The spirits of this land speak to us, and it's time that we listen. We had almost perfect weather for our trip to the Fowler Theater in late May of 2023. It was going to be our first official full-scale investigation, something we prepared for months in advance. Despite our planning, what we experienced was totally unexpected. So this is the point in most paranormal shows where they play the swishing sound, give you the foreshadowing of a scream, and crank up the music. Understand up front, that's not us. We don't operate that way. It's not about fake scares, it's not about hype, though we admit what we encounter can sometimes be unsettling. When I say what we experienced was unexpected, I'm not trying to set you up for an inevitably disappointing piece of evidence. And we probably should have expected what we found, given who we are. You may have seen some of our videos, but it's time we formally introduce ourselves. I'm James, a part of the husband and wife team that founded Midwest Spirits, a different kind of paranormal investigation group. Together with my wife Mary, we have set out to explore the weird side of things. More than just ghosts, things that go bump in the night. Together with our friends Nora, Marty, and Cambria, we form a unique team with a unique perspective. All of us practice our own forms of spirituality, bringing to our investigations the tools used by seekers since the dawn of humanity, the art of magic. It seems like paranormal teams, both the ones you see on TV and the ones you see on YouTube and on social media, they're all trying to answer the same question. Is it haunted? Is this place, is this object, is this person, is it haunted? And no one seems to stop and ask the question, what does haunted even mean? name is James, and together with my wife Mary, we're the co-founders of Midwest Spirits, Paranormal Investigations. But besides being a paranormal investigator, first and foremost, I consider myself to be a magus, a magician. And if I'm being specific, a practitioner in the Western esoteric tradition. But it's even more specific than that. What I practice, what I call it, is ceremonial animism. And that's something even a lot of my peers, other magicians, don't understand. Because when you say ceremonial magic, the first thing that comes to mind, if you think about it at all, is alchemy and hermeticism and Kabbalah and seeing the relationship between different symbols and mathematical equations for different words. Well, I've never been that good at math, and my ceremony is the ceremony of diplomacy. And my magic is based on my relationship with the spirits. For an animist, just about anything can be haunted. Scholars generally agree that animism is the world's oldest religion. And by extension, that means animism is the world's longest lasting religion, lasting for that 250,000 years of human prehistory. Of course, things are more complicated than that, made complicated by the fact that the discipline that I went to school for, comparative religion, can't even agree on what the definition of a religion is. And on top of that, without a written record, there's no way for us to really know what our prehistoric ancestors believed. But one thing's for certain, and this is something that goes back even further with our hominid cousins, is that we left grave goods. We left items when we buried the dead. And that's a strong indicator that we believed that in some way we continued to exist after we died. But animists, well, they believe in a whole lot more than just spirits of the dead. My favorite definition of animism comes from a scholar named Graham Harvey. And he says, animists are people who recognize that the world is full of persons, only some of whom are human, and that life is always lived in relationship to others. Animism is lived out in various ways that are all about learning to act respectfully, carefully, and constructively towards and among other persons. Now, the key phrase there is, only some of whom are human. Because some animists believe that the rocks are alive, the trees are alive, the rivers and the mountains are alive, and they are our brothers and sisters. They have a character, they have personality, they have goals, they have modes of being. And in that same way, towns can be alive. So I'm asking the question, is Fowler haunted? Is the town itself? What is its personality? What is Fowler's character? And what does that have to say about all of these other small towns all around Indiana, just like Fowler, and all around the Midwest? And why is it that the people in Fowler are seeing the spirits of the dead? And what are those spirits trying to say? we must first acknowledge that our ancestors were not saints. The land that would be Fowler was once inhabited by the Miami people. Many were driven out by migrations of tribes fleeing white settlers, though some remained. The Miami believed in spirits called mantus that would sometimes take the form of animals or people. Members of the tribe would seek to appease these spirits through ritual and offerings, and many would seek to contact a mantu in their dreams and become bonded to them, with the spirit becoming their personal guardian. The town was the dream of Moses Fowler, who platted the land. Fowler came to Indiana with his friend John Purdue after they ran a successful business together in Cincinnati, Ohio. Both would be instrumental in the founding of Purdue University and providing the food and raw materials for the nation's westward expansion. I spent time at the Indiana State Library researching the town and its founders, asking myself the question, what inspired the people of this town to carve out a life here? And how do they influence the people there today? After careful digging, I eventually found this book, obscured by the fact it had 2 titles. In the catalog it is listed as Fowler, Indiana, the Heart of the Prairie, a historical record. On the cover, one discovers is a publication created to honor a celebration labeled Fowler Centennial, 1871 to 1971. The town had selected for inclusion the work of a lesser-known poet named R.W. Glover, called It Isn't the Town, It's You. In many ways, it summed up my feelings about Fowler and the many small towns like it. If you want to live in the kind of town that's the kind of town you like, you needn't slip your clothes in a grip and start on a long, long hike. You'll find elsewhere what you left behind, for there's nothing that's really new. It's a knock at yourself when you knock your town. It isn't your town, it's you. Real towns are not made of men afraid, lest somebody else get ahead. When everybody works and nobody shirks, you can raise a town from the dead. And if while you make your stake, your neighbor can make one too, your town will be what you want to see. It isn't your town, it's you. That line, when everybody works and nobody shirks, you can raise a town from the dead. I feel like that's what Fowler is doing, both metaphorically and literally. What spirits haunt the Fowler can never be proven definitively, but any examination of the Fowler Theater has to include the account of the life of Demosthenes Vastos, its builder, owner, and manager when it opened in 1940. By any measure, Dick Vlastos was a dynamic man, owning several businesses and regularly traveling across country at a time when that was a much more difficult endeavor. He was born in Greece in 1892 and immigrated to the U.S. in 1915. At that time, the Great War had already broken out, and Greece remained neutral, divided politically, with the king supporting Germany and the Central Powers, and its prime minister supporting Great Britain and the Allies. Greece would eventually enter the war in 1917 on the side of the Allies, but by that time Vlastos had already arrived in the U.S., ending up in Calumet, a southeastern suburb of Chicago, a place where many Greeks had already built communities. It's here that the synchronicities hit me. Not the kind that truly lead anywhere, but the kind that gives you that smells-like feeling. In this case, the parallels of my own life. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and from there Dick would move around the Great Lakes area, marrying Hazel Taylor in 1936 in Elkhart, Indiana, then moving to Kalamazoo, Michigan in 1938, a town Mary and I lived in for many years. Dick ended up back in Indiana, just as I now live in Indianapolis. The thing that really touched me was how similar Dick Vlastos' American Dream was to my own family's a generation later, when my family immigrated from Poland right before the outbreak of the Second World War, settled in Chicago, and then fell in love with the beautiful lakes in the region, with my grandmother and many of her friends and family buying summer homes in Michigan, just like Dick Vlastos bought a summer home on Bass Lake in northern Indiana and would spend summers there for many years towards the end of his life. But he did have one peculiar aspect to his dream that my family did not share. Dick's love of movies seemed to come through in all of his endeavors. Before the Fowler, he owned the Bauer Show print shop, purchased in 1937. The shop specialized in printing show cards for theaters and fairs. But he would quickly turn over management of that business and eventually sell it so he could work on his crown jewel, the Fowler Theater in Fowler, Indiana. The Fowler Theater opened in 1940. Fellow Greek immigrants helped with the design and building. A magnificent showpiece, state-of-the-art at the time. The Fowler was one of only 5 theaters to premiere Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's much-anticipated epic Gone with the Wind. The current incarnation of the Fowler certainly shows the care and detail that went into its construction. Dick would end up living his remaining years in Los Angeles, where his beloved movies were made. It's interesting to note that his son, Dick Jr., would for a short time be the owner of a Laguna Beach landmark, the Casa del Camino Hotel, which in later years has been purported to be haunted as well. Perhaps some people, some families, leave a mark in such way that manifests these phenomena. The Fowler Theater served the community for 60 years before falling into ruin. The same story as so many small-town businesses, driven to extinction by bigger theaters and bigger towns. Thankfully, the story of the Fowler does not end there. Recognizing the beauty and uniqueness of their hometown treasure, an organization called the Prairie Preservation Guild purchased the theater in 2001 and began the arduous task of restoring the Fowler to its former glory. By all accounts, they did a magnificent job, winning the Cook Cup for outstanding restoration of an Indiana landmark. It's been in operation every weekend since, relying on volunteers and the civic pride of the people of Fowler.
And folks got into the spooky spirit during the annual Freakout at Fowler event that took place back on Saturday. A silent film played at the theater until 9 o'clock that evening, and it was followed by an overnight investigation into the haunted Fowler Theater and the haunted Benton County Jail, which News 18 visited last year. That investigation went until 3 o'clock in the morning and cost $35 per person. All proceeds went to the historic preservation. Earlier Saturday, there was a walking tour of the haunted Fowler location.
I first learned about the Fowler Theater when I set up as a vendor at their annual Freakout at the Fowler. The thing that struck me was seeing half the street filled up with local craftspeople, and the other half filled with people from the paranormal community. The two groups were tentative at first, but eventually began to mix. It seemed an understanding dawned upon them, that they were here for the same purpose, to support the Fowler Theater and the town of Fowler itself. A great celebration of the weird and civic pride. I remember thinking how much it reminded me of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman. Point Pleasant has embraced their weird and made it into something that has revitalized their downtown. A sleepy little town in the Appalachians, yet it feels welcoming to all people. Like Point Pleasant, Fowler has had its share of tragedy. A train wreck in 1907 killed 25 people, making national news. There are also the spirits of the supposedly haunted Benton County Jail, whose numerous stories of misdeeds and atrocities are best left for another investigation. I sincerely wish that the people of Fowler continue to make their beautiful, haunted theater a catalyst for their own renewal. Our investigations start with historical research and metaphysical research as well, which led us to the Benton County Library, where we performed a spirit box session. We also performed a remote viewing session for our trip in May, and you can watch both of those videos in their entirety. Suffice to say, it gave us our first inkling that we were dealing with something larger than the Fowler Theater. Something that went further afield. Something that inhabits the landscape. I'm going to tell you up front, we didn't record any manifestation at the Fowler Theater. Not without trying. We had an IR camera set up in the projection room and tried multiple times to record an EVP backstage where many people have heard voices. That's not to say we did not have experiences. Understand, the way we approach the paranormal is somewhat different than you may be used to. It requires some explanation. The field of parapsychology has been around for over 130 years, and in all that time, no one has captured repeatable, verifiable evidence. We don't know if more evidence is what this field really needs. In any case, we leave it to those with different skills. The main focus in all our investigations is communicating with the spirits. More than evidence, we want to learn from them directly and establish a better understanding of them. But spirits rarely talk directly. It often requires a method that both facilitates and interprets their messages. There exists hundreds of different ways to communicate with spirits, from scrying with smoke, fire, or water, to simple and direct prayer. We prefer methods that provide two-way interaction and can be documented. We find it best when spirits communicate in tangible, physical ways that manifest visually or auditorily. It's not to say that the feelings and visions aren't important. Sometimes that's all the spirits can provide, or it's the best way for them to be understood. You may have noticed by now that our documentaries are also different from most paranormal shows. We take our time. We're not going to make cuts in the middle of a recording. Once again, that's not us. And maybe that's not what's popular with short attention spans these days. But in the words of the famous director David Lynch, who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is? We start all of our experiments and investigations with a ritual. We trade off who performs the ritual based on whose particular magical tradition and style may work best for the situation. I thought about it long and hard and decided to take the reins. I think it was a good decision. Some things that happen later seem to validate that. Aoth, Amaroth, Betsum, Itzhak, Sabioth. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God who comes forth from the veil, Thoth, majesty of Godhead, wisdom crowned Tahuti, thee I invoke, thee I invoke. It is I, Thresciornis, Magus, Kepra, created in the flesh. The word of Thoth is on my lips, the power of Hekai is in my breath. I create with the primordial power of the Ogdoad. Nuit, Hehu, Hehuet, Kek, Kekuet, Aman, Amunet. Aman, you are existence eternal. Aman, you are eternal non-existence. Open the gates to Duat. It is I, Thresciornis, who comes to you again as a mortal man. Take mercy on my vow. I come now again to seek my friends, Oz and Abdel, and open the portal for all the spirits of our tribe, so that we may communicate with the spirits here. Help us treat with them with respect and honor. Tarot cards can provide a narrative with traditional means of interpretation. Each card has an established meaning, but the tarot reader also uses their intuition, inspired by the artwork of their particular deck. You also see Mary use the pendulum to give her more guidance, laying the cards out at a table and then picking out the cards that the weight points to. We used 3 card spreads at the Fowler. It seemed to us the Fowler readings related 2 different narratives. First was the story of the people around the theater, the jail, and the town itself. And the other was about the presence of non-human entities or entity. Basically, they said, hello, we hear you, and we're here.
All right. So I'm going to do a tarot reading of the Fowler Theater itself. An idea that I have is that the theater is a macrocosm of spirit realm, and that which lives inside of the Fowler Theater in the spirit realm, whether it be Danny or Blascos or other entities, are a part of the thing that is the Fowler Theater. Sometimes I shuffle, sometimes I use this pendulum to find the cards. The pendulum will do a little swing around. Know that that is the card that it feels that I should pick. Pendulum is something that I made long ago. It's a gift. The blue is a gift from my mother. It was a necklace that fell apart. The green is my grandmother's necklace that she used to go out dancing with. And rose quartz is a gift from my spouse. Alright, do a 3-card spread. That is funny synchronicity right there. I love that I pulled The Little Mermaid, and it is currently the movie that is being played in this theater. With 4 coins, the Fool, and the Tower. Now, it's interesting. The 4 of Coins is about keeping what you have safe, but not so much that you fear everything else around you. The Fool is the Fool. The Fool makes the journey. The Fool is the one that decides to make the deal with the witch and get legs so that she can go find her prince. The Tower in this particular tarot is a representation of Rapunzel. That in the story of Rapunzel, there is, in the end, she makes her choices, not the guys climbing the towers to get to her. I think that in this spread it's interesting, like I said, that we've got the Little Mermaid when it is the movie being played right now. I like the Tower because it is a representation of a building. It is probably the most famous building in the tarot deck if you know anything about tarot. And that there are 2 major arcana in this particular reading. I think that there may be an entity that is the embodiment of the Fowler, about preservation, about taking the chance, and that yes, the tower can crumble, but it can be rebuilt. So I find it really interesting. I think that the people who rebuilt this place put so much energy in it that it became something unto itself and is drawing in all these other beings that may or may not have been connected to it in their life, or maybe they're just drawn to it because it is so bright, like a beacon.
We used our favorite means of communicating, the spirit box. We used the commercially available SB7 spirit box, though there are smaller manufacturers and even bespoke spirit boxes that claim to have metaphysical properties. In essence, a spirit box is simply an AM/FM radio with the ability to scan through channels at a high rate of speed. This produces white noise and snippets of voices that sometimes becomes a dialogue with the users asking questions. It often achieves unexplainable results. There are several theories on why the spirit box works. Some believe they hear the voices of the spirits themselves. Other theories posit that the spirits are able to manipulate radio signals so that the users hear what the spirits want to say through established broadcasts. We believe it to be some combination of the two, with most messages being recognizable as radio voices, though they do sometimes seem to be responses to questions asked. Other times, the voices seem truly alien. We have found that, by far, the best way to use a spirit box is through the Estes method. Developed by Carl Pfeiffer and Connor Randall during their time as the paranormal investigators in residence at the infamous Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, the hotel that inspired Stephen King's The Shining. For the Estes method, one person puts on a blindfold and plugs a spirit box into a set of noise-canceling headphones. We call the person listening to the spirit box the channeler. The first benefit of this method is that it creates a blind, where the channeler cannot hear the questions being asked, and only speaks out loud the words they hear. This prevents the users from interpreting the sounds as something they wanted to hear. The second benefit is that it puts the channeler in a state of sensory deprivation, which provokes altered states of consciousness. In this state, the channeler often has visions and is more open to messages. It seems that the spirits themselves find it easier to work through a human mind. If you're interested in using a spirit box, we have an entire video on YouTube explaining how to use the device. It helps to be able to clear your mind as much as possible, and it's easier if you have some experience meditating. Sometimes, a spirit box session is an observation of two or more spirits communicating with each other. Other times, the questioners get to have a rewarding conversation with specific, although often cryptic, answers. And even other times, the answer will be direct. We also have a multi-channel headphone amplifier, and this allowed us to have both Cambria and Mary in the spirit box at the same time.
We want to see if there will be any difference.
Okay. Yeah, let's try switching to FM.
Already sounds like we might get possibly no response.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really loud.
222 angles is
Don't
watching.
put those headphones on. Don't plug in. Lower hers.
Okay. A little bit louder. I'm okay there. Thanks. Just tap me when you guys are ready, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a little bit more sound, Cambria?
Oh, no, this is fine. I'm just checking in first.
Spirit box session, take 2.
Okay.
To be
Yeah.
incandescent.
No, that's better.
And
That's better.
so,
Here we are. Hello. Who's incandescent?
Believe. We tried, it was work.
could be yours.
Who are we speaking to?
Toothless.
Who's toothless?
Instruct.
We have some coins sitting over by the stage there. Can you knock them over?
I am getting this weird chitness sound
The bug
that
elements
is
are back.
not something I usually associate with spirit boxes. It's very insectoid.
What is your time cycle?
It's back. It's a whisper. We
I hear voices.
Are you hearing our voices?
Toothless.
Toothless again. Maybe the weirdos are out tonight.
Is Toothless the name of a spirit?
Come forward.
We're here.
Come on
Come
back.
forward.
Come on back, like back behind the screen?
It's knocking.
It's knocking. Where is it knocking? What's it knocking on?
I feel really lightheaded.
Yeah.
You.
You who?
I really kind of feel like the light has become
Break down
more incandescent.
in calligraphy.
Breakdown in calligraphy. Breakdown in communication?
Pick up.
Pick up?
I
The
don't.
faces. It's a Peter Pan like.
Peter Pan. Like. Childlike?
Oh.
Are we communicating with the spirit of the theater?
Getting that bug sound.
Ask that time cycle question again.
What is your time cycle?
Many.
Are you from this earth?
Take my.
Take your what?
We come through. Action.
Who's we?
Groceries.
Groceries. Okay.
Red.
Toothless red.
Are we speaking to any of the spirits that reside
Do we go to work?
in the Fowler Theater? Can you provide me with a yes or
It's
no?
possible.
No, they cannot provide you with a yes or no, apparently.
Tried everything.
You've tried every method to get through to us. Are we not picking something up?
Excuse me.
What did you think of the,
It's a whisper.
That again.
that again, yeah.
3.
3. Okay, another number.
What's a whisper?
Captain.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Peter Pan.
Captain? Captain who?
We are
You are the captain?
far off.
Well.
You were far off. Well. Okay.
Wildlife.
Go on.
Are there spirits that linger here at the Fowler Theater? Do you know?
Wouldn't.
Fort. What's this?
15.
Another number.
What's what? This is a spirit box. This is a way for you to communicate through us.
It's over there.
What's
Over
over
where?
there?
Over where?
Right there.
What is it?
What are you describing?
Oh yeah.
What do you know?
Color form?
Color form.
Communicating via colors?
Well, I do.
You communicate via colors?
Huh.
Come on.
Or
I just
You just
it.
gotta.
or like art? You communicate via art forms.
Well, who is that?
Who is who? Who are you?
Struggling.
You're struggling?
Same.
Same. It's past my bedtime. This seems distinct. Who is speaking with us?
The ray?
An array?
Is that a quality about you?
Forgetful?
Grow.
We don't understand.
What is your time cycle?
Girlfriend?
The girlfriend cycle.
Humbly? Bible?
Are you religious aliens?
The bug sound is just crazy.
It's just.
What is the bug sound?
Everyone?
That's the second time that Cambria said it's just.
Yeah, and it's bizarre because here we are.
It's spirit?
Okay.
At the place. Our time, is limited. And yet I feel like we're talking to the damn
A
aliens
unicorn?
Did she just say a unicorn?
again. Yeah.
30?
30, another number, 3, 30.
I feel like we're talking to the
There's
aliens
a lot
again.
of them.
Yeah. Are we talking to the aliens again?
That wasn't even our intention.
I know.
To whom are we speaking?
The first
Lipstick?
thing.
What's the
We
first
hear
thing?
you, we hear you. Adapted.
But who are we speaking to? What are you?
Not now.
Now is a good
Maybe.
time.
How do you want to speak to us? With this? With something
Paid
else?
for it. Knit?
Aware.
$22?
Another number.
What are the numbers? It's a lot of numbers.
Object?
Be with it.
Now listen,
Or not.
we want to talk with the spirits that are here. We want to
Yeah.
talk with the spirits of this place.
Do your test again. Ask about Abtet and Oz.
Are Oz and Abtet here? I need your help, because I want to talk to the spirits of this place.
It goes silent. Wow.
Yeah.
Are we speaking to the weird mantis aliens?
Look it up.
No offense. We are really more interested in communicating with the spirits of this place. If there are any spirits of this place here,
Did you want it?
Yes.
Could you please,
Baby.
could you please speak up?
Running.
Mm-hmm.
He.
Who is he?
We can do it.
Can do what? Can you communicate? Can you bring forth
In
this?
music?
Is music an effective way to
It's like this
Get you
weird
here?
crescendoing.
So first we have bugs and now we have music.
Are there any
Right
spirits
now.
here?
Yes.
Are there any spirits of the dead?
We do it.
We want to talk to them.
Are there any deceased
In the end.
deceased human spirits here presently?
Oh my god.
Yeah? We're listening.
Are there any spirits of this place here that might...
Audra?
Audra.
Or Aud...
Are
It's the
there...
second, like, old-timey woman's name we've gotten.
Yeah. Are there any spirits here that are inhuman
But they.
but connected to the theater? My head is
Them.
Glitter?
My head is splitting. Yes, I have glitter on my eyes.
Do you like the glam and glitz? Do you like the metals and golds? You like the glam?
95.
Oh, that was.
Calling.
1995 is calling?
Tell us who's calling. This is our dime.
Think about it.
We need more information.
Can you tell us who you are?
I suppose.
Is this just an enormous temple to corn?
The prince.
And then.
This is so weird.
Always Frank.
Frank.
Push down. I.
You pushed Frank down?
Excuse me.
Do you know about the train crash that happened?
What's over this place?
It's weird.
Discover.
Is this location transmitting some kind of signal into space?
The old days.
Your mom.
Rude? Okay.
What is that?
This is definitely the weirder spirit box sessions.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Like, we've had some weird ones, but like, and some chaotic ones, but this one is...
The end. Canopy.
Whoever we're talking to, do you have any messages for us?
We have to masquerade.
Masquerade is what?
An arrow.
An error?
An arrow?
An arrow? I thought she said error.
Arrow is what I heard.
No, arrow.
What's an arrow?
New girl.
Then right.
Who's the new girl?
What's up?
1995 is calling.
Are you the new girl who said what's up?
Yes.
Are you a new spirit to the theater?
It looks like it.
What's
you-
your name?
Talk to.
Did you pass recently?
One I love.
What do you love?
You talk.
We need to talk.
Are they each talking to a different spirit?
Some days.
What is it that happens Sundays?
Are you a couple?
Just saw a bunch of eyes.
Hi, Alex.
Okay.
Spirit of the new girl, are you wanting us to talk to you more? And do you have a name?
Oh,
3
yeah, that was
years.
it.
What, took 3 years?
10.
Eight. 88.
74.
That was bizarre.
We're breaking up.
You're breaking up.
8 who?
88.
I don't like that one.
Whoa.
We can't get through it.
You can't get through
Are
what?
you talking about the Ogdawad?
Maybe. Under a heart attack.
Oh no. Who's having a heart attack?
Who's having a heart attack?
Any old brick.
We're 20 minutes in. How much longer do we want to go?
I don't know that we're going to get any hits based on the spirits here, other than maybe the new girl?
Think about.
What do you want us to think about?
Now.
Like the present?
This.
What's happening now, right now?
Now, think and come here.
Not tone.
Think and come here. Where are we going to? Tell me where to go.
Do you want us to come back here?
Also, Marianne is sometimes animated, but she's been much more animated during this.
Yeah, she was clenching her fists for a while. And the reason why I'm not stopping is they
In
seem
crops.
in crops.
Oh, in the crops?
They seem to be becoming more lively.
What crops?
Rejected.
So you want?
We stay.
You're staying here?
So you're asking me to think about it. What am I thinking? I'm thinking we should come back to Fowler, but not to the theater, but to the fields, to look for you in the sky, and look for you in the ground. How do you feel about that?
Old form.
You want the old form of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It got very cold in here.
Yeah, it did. Holy shit. Ice. Wow.
It got so cold in here.
Uh-huh. Like, and chills, not like just cold chills, but like
Okay.
weird shiver.
Like, I've got goosebumps. Ooh.
If you want it the old ways, what's your favorite way? What do you want us to do?
You're real.
Yeah? You're not?
Look at the
am a
paper.
painter.
A painter of nature?
Was communicating with color.
Is it written in the trees?
Bluegill?
Bluegill, like the fish? You want us to go fishing? Do you want us to go to the river? A river? A stream? Body?
Not much water around here.
No.
Cute.
G.
Is there some place outside near here that you would like us to go?
Forest?
Should we douse for it? The old ways?
$50.
50 cents? What's 50 cents?
Think you can knock over some of those coins over there?
Yeah. They're a bunch of nickels. You could do it, I bet.
Go knock them
I
over.
heard a piano.
Second time pianos come up.
If you can't knock over the nickels, touch that box with the antenna.
25 minutes.
20 feet.
No, it's closer than that.
Do we want to go for 30?
Let's at least go until 2:50.
That's 3 more minutes.
But that's not that long.
Your head.
Whose head?
We're ahead.
Can you knock something over that's on the stage, preferably not the candles? Can you touch the REM pod? Can you knock over the coins?
Or not.
Okay.
If we were to come back to Fowler, where should we go?
All right.
Tell us.
Wolf.
Wolf.
Wolf?
Wolf.
Guitar sound.
Give us more guidance. Tell us where to go in Fowler to find you.
What's the landmark? What's the sign?
We heard the song.
A blues bar?
Sounds dangerous. When we went to the library, when we were doing the scrying session in the spirit box then, we got the impression that we were supposed to go out somewhere as well.
Yeah.
We cannot have it.
I got the impression that it was supposed to be in the woods
You
somewhere.
can't have
There's no woods.
it here? You can't have it here? We can't parlay here?
Subversive.
Is the REM pod going off?
No.
No. Okay.
And is
Subversive.
Do you like this place, this theater?
Layers.
Are we even speaking to anything connected to the theater? Are the spirits or entities that we're speaking to now from the land
What do
out?
you think of us?
We like you. We're trying to
Remake.
be
We're curious.
We would like to get to know you better.
guests. Yeah.
Can you tell us about yourselves?
I feel like all my plans just got blown away, but okay.
Yeah.
We're at the 250 mark.
Just turn the page.
Okay.
Fewer.
Oh.
Do you want fewer people?
Fewer what?
Whatever we are.
There's fewer of whatever you are.
Do you know how to describe what you are?
What do you know about what you are? Or what you aren't?
Or darker.
Okay, you said colors. What color would humans be?
A clean
What-
breast.
What are humans? What's humanity? Us talking.
What are we?
Yeah. What color? What color are you?
Okay. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Let's let him go.
Yeah.
Maritime.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
What was that last thing?
It sounded like maritime.
Yeah, the last thing you said was maritime. Man.
Put this on me. You know, that was, I feel like all my plans, all the stuff, all this vision that I had for this whole arc, this whole story of the Fowler Theater just got blown out of the fucking water because that's not who wants to talk to us. That's not who wants to talk to us. There's something here, there's something in Fowler, there's something visiting Fowler maybe, but not the spirits of this theater.
No.
In fact, I think this place is like maybe even harder for them to come to because this place has such history. I think there are spirits here, but I don't know if they're the ones who want to talk to us.
Yeah, I got the,
Bugs.
yeah, there was
Yeah.
a very distinct impression that what we were speaking to was
You alright?
alien. Also,
Lots of
Yeah,
clicking.
okay.
Lots of clicking.
I don't know if you guys noticed it, but towards the middle of the session,
Cold bugs, not like usually insects.
it's interesting you say that because Marianne, the temperature in here dropped.
Yeah.
When Marty said, you know, who said the old ways? Was that did one of them say it, or
I
did,
said something about
You said that, and Marty asked, "What are the old ways?" And it got cold in here.
oh yeah, it just went.
Also, at the beginning, you said the word incandescent, or you said incandescent. One of you said
I know I
incandescent.
said something like that.
The lights shifted. It's not. It wasn't something super heavily noticeable. But
I
Jim and
almost
noticed
as
it
you
was
told me out, the bug thing was bugging me so bad.
We both got kind of lightheaded too. We
Yeah.
were like fucking
It,
weird.
it got really intense
Yeah,
in there.
It felt like there were bugs in my brain. It was not.
And it was weird how it was really hard time getting it started, and then we switched over, and then the freaks came out,
Well, and now, like you said, I think what our original plan was, I don't know that we're going to find what we want inside a building here. I think we need to go out into the surrounding landscape and do some work out there.
There's.
And I brought this
Did I
up.
say crops?
You did.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to Jim at one point when we were at the library and I was doing the mirror scrying. I remember getting the distinct impression that we needed to go out into the woods or the
Yeah.
landscape of Fowler.
I mean, there are woods around here. They're just not big.
Right. And what I was seeing wasn't necessarily huge. I just remember seeing trees. And So this is the second time now that we've been kind of given confirmation that whatever it is that we're communicating with, because it seems like even at your house we've been put into contact with some kind of
Don't stop.
Yeah.
with some kind of alien sort of thing, a species, a set of whatever. Like, I feel like we're being led somewhere to communicate. And from the way it sounds, we need to go out into the landscape surrounding this area.
I asked if we should try dowsing to find a location. We didn't really get any response, but
It's 3 o'clock, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, we got to pack up.
Let's roll.
that was.
By the way, folks, we're talking about our visit to the Fowler Theater in Fowler, Indiana, the reportedly haunted Fowler Theater, which we spent Saturday night at for a good 5 hours, and I fucked around for a good part of that. And the reason I want you to indulge me now is because I feel like that experience completely changed me. And that's weird because not a whole lot happened. Not a whole lot happened. But that experience, for some reason, and I don't even know why. Well, okay, there were reasons why, but you always have doubt. You always have doubt. And now I feel like I can trust my feelings more. I can trust my feelings more. So now I have to ask you guys if what I'm feeling, if you guys felt the same thing. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First off, I felt like, yes, there were spirits of the dead there, but we scared the shit out of them. I see nodding.
Yeah, no, honestly, it just seemed to be as strange of an event to them in their perspective as it must have been for us. You know?
We were definitely like a little bit too weird for these nice corn-fed Hoosier ghosts. Like, like we all have our own particular charisma roles and track records with different groups of people in life, and I think in death too. Like, you're gonna mesh better with different settings, and I think we weirded them out just a little bit.
I agree that whatever the people who run the show, the people they talk to, Danny and possibly Lascos, whoever else, I think that while we may not have connected to them, I feel we connected to something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt like they were there, but they were hiding.
Yeah, because I mean, Nora, if she is able to join us a little bit, she could tell you about our only thing that we ever connected to the people were Nora's tarot reading, in my opinion. Because Nora did a tarot reading that was basically, it seemed to be specifically to a man and woman who was a big part of that theater. So
I hesitate to use the terminology of scared of us. I would say hesitant to speak to us. Do I feel that there were spirits there? Yes. I don't know that I connected with any human spirits there. I definitely feel like I connected with the spirit of the theater itself. To anyone who's listening, places do frequently manifest spirits of their own. Your home has its own spirit too. But I think one of the most unexpected things for me was how much I connected to the spirit of the theater itself. When I was doing my EVP session, and I said this before, I recognized that where the REM pod was sitting was causing it to go off to a certain degree. But there was something about the way it was going off and the energy behind the screen and the vibe that I got, the feeling that I got, like I was being spoken to by something that hadn't had a chance to speak to somebody in a very long time. Because most of the time when you have paranormal investigation groups go into a place, all of these paranormal groups are always looking for spirits of a past human individual. They don't always think about the spirits of the land or the spirits of place. And this theater's been through a lot. Historically speaking, it's been through a lot. So to me, it makes perfect sense that the theater would have its own spirit and personality. And it just felt like sitting back there, I was definitely in some sort of communication with the spirit of that theater. And that's what was most unexpected for me. I wasn't really sure what I was going to experience going in. I was hoping to maybe connect with a, spirit of a deceased person. But, as we've said before, that's not necessarily our goal. And being able to at least even momentarily connect with the spirit of that place was interesting.
So the commonality between this spirit box session, our last group spirit box session, the insects. Now, Mary, you said that you saw during the Fowler spirit box session, you saw a white beetle.
Yes. Well, a white beetle-like thing. Yeah.
Beetle-like thing.
It will look like a scarab, and I don't know that I classify a scarab as a classic beetle that I would see in Indiana, even though I learned since that there are plenty of beetles that are considered scarabs that are in Indiana.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was definitely white, and there was a ton of them. And I know that last time when we did a group spirit box, other people had insect noise. I've never had continuous insect sounds. It was like insects crawling in my brain, and sometimes it was really fast, like they were feeding frenzy, and other times it was just like they were just sort of leisurely crawling around. But it gave me this white, cold, scarab-like vibe. And I don't associate bugs with the cold either. So that's
sure.
And when they got like really anxious and rambunctious, I guess the whole dang room got cold, which, Cambria and I didn't know that was going on because we're in a trance-like state.
Right.
The stuff I saw during our Gansfeld experiment was also like white bug-like stuff. I don't know.
Interesting.
So they're following us. But they gave me the networking kind of thing, like a networking, burrowing under kind of
mycelial.
Yeah. I think we said as much on that night after we got out.
But do you think?
Weird, but I turned to Cambria in the car and I was like, I think the hurricane through at one point, which is like my made up OC alien species that does like mycelial stuff, and I was like, I think I contaminated the stream. Like, like I don't know. Maybe my alien experiences are bleeding over. Who knows?
That's kind of cool. So you put those aliens in my brain tanks.
I don't know.
What that symbolism means to me is, one thing, they're white, so they look like bones. And also, scarabs not only roll balls of shit, certain scarabs also eat flesh. Strip flesh off the bones. So I feel like we tapped into some kind of chthonic maybe necromantic network. I don't know how to follow it. Shit, I mean, next day we came home. I'm driving down the road. I'm driving up Meridian, and there's this old greenhouse. It's shut down now. And I will show you guys this picture later, but sure as shit.
Kepler Institute with their scarab. Yeah, they bought
that.
They bought that. They've since bought that greenhouse area as part of their urban farming initiatives.
But yeah, they were like formed by some like cool, I don't know, like 70s Black Panther, like local community liberation folks, and have always had this like solar like beetle sort of logo. So that aspiration
is supposed to be a beetle.
Yes, it is supposed to be the scarab of the sun. Like, you can go talk to those fellows and they'll be like, oh yeah, like that's but it's KHEPRW, I want to say.
Kepra.
Kepra, the Kepra Institute. And they're by Crown Hill Cemetery, actually.
Shit. Okay, so okay. Now it's getting real fucking weird for me. Because so that invocation that I did, the ritual that I did, part of that comes straight from Israel Regardie's Invocation of Thought. And I used to do the whole fucking thing, like pages of it. And I cut it down, and changed it to what I needed. But there are still a few sentences from the original that I've kept, that I've always kept through. And one of them is, I am Magus, Kepra created in the flesh. Because Kepra, is the god of creation, according, don't let me get started about Egypt. Let's just say Kepra's the god.
That's very, very interesting.
You guys don't need
the other thing
details.
I was going to mention, you said like that occurred the next day after the investigation, but when we were driving home, we got home at like 5:30, and just as we were turning onto our street, Cambry goes, "Look out!" and there's this enormous old black dog shuffling across the intersection.
Oh,
that
wow.
I almost hit, and it didn't even care or notice, and it just kept shuffling. And we were like,
just like out for a stroll.
Going home, thank you. Yeah, like it was just one of those like, well, that was sure a weird cap to the night. So
black dog of the underworld.
Yeah, crossing the crossroads street. I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, yeah.
Please note that plenty of people have recorded evidence at the Fowler. We highly encourage you to go to the Facebook page, My Haunted Fowler, to see them and learn about the many manifestations in the theater. As for us, we look forward to this year's Freak Out at the Fowler and hope you join us there. This is the part in our videos where we usually ask you to join our Patreon and donate to Midwest Spirits. This time, we have something more important. The Fowler Theater has recently announced that they are a year away from closing due to a lack of funding. The rise in energy costs and other expenses has hit this all-volunteer group hard. The Fowler needs a new fire alarm system, an upgrade to the projector so they can play Hollywood releases, and a new roof. Please help this amazing theater and the people of Fowler. You'll find a link in the description to donate to them directly. Thank you for watching as we learn and grow as a paranormal group. We hope that we bring a fresh perspective that's thoughtful and introspective, going beyond the surface that you usually see on paranormal TV shows. we will keep listening to the spirits. We hope that you do as well.